After all these years of making breakfast, I thought I'd tried every egg recipe there is. Until I found these two egg recipes. I just can't stop making them. Hi, friends. It's Nancy here. If you're tired of the same old fried eggs or plain omelets, stay with me. I'll show you two easy, colorful recipes that fill your kitchen with warmth and your morning with joy. Just a couple of eggs, some tomatoes, and a bell pepper can turn into the most beautiful breakfast you've ever seen, and it's all done right in a single pan. No rush, no mess, just fresh ingredients coming together in the most delicious way. Let's begin with the first breakfast recipe. Something bright, simple, and absolutely comforting. For this recipe, I start with 3 ripe firm tomatoes. Try to choose the ones that are deep red and just a bit heavy in your hand. That's usually a sign they're juicy and full of flavor. Give them a quick rinse under cool running water, then gently pat them dry with a kitchen towel. Now, using a sharp knife, slice each tomato into thick, even rings about ½ inch thick. Thick slices hold their shape better when cooking, so they stay round and lovely on the plate. Once you've got your slices ready, take something small and round the back of a spoon, or even a little cookie cutter, and scoop out the center of each ring. We're creating a space to hold our egg mixture later. Don't toss out the pulp, that's pure tomato goodness we'll use in just a bit. Next, it's time to prepare the filling. Take all that tomato pulp and chop it finely with a knife. The smaller the pieces, the smoother and richer the flavor will blend with the eggs. Add the chopped tomato pulp into a mixing bowl. Then crack in 2 eggs. Watch how the golden yolks mix with the bright red tomatoes. It already looks cheerful, like a summer morning in a bowl. Now let's add flavor. Sprinkle in a pinch of salt and a little freshly ground black pepper. Not too much, just enough to bring out the natural sweetness of the tomatoes. Then grate in 2 cloves of garlic. I always say that the smell of garlic hitting a fresh mixture like this is enough to make anyone hungry. If you have some fresh herbs nearby, parsley chives, or even a bit of basil, chop a handful and toss them in. The green adds a lovely color and a touch of freshness. Here's a little secret that makes all the difference. Add 1 tablespoon of flour. It might sound unusual, but the flour helps the mixture bind together so it doesn't fall apart while cooking. It also gives the eggs a gentle, fluffy texture that feels soft and tender when you take that first bite. Now, give everything a good stir. Use a fork or whisk and mix until it's smooth but not too runny. You'll see little specks of green herbs and red tomato throughout. That's when you know it's perfect. Before cooking, place your frying pan over medium heat and let it warm up for a minute. Then add a teaspoon of butter or a bit more, if you love that rich flavor. As it melts, you'll hear that faint sizzling sound. One of the happiest sounds in any kitchen. The buttery aroma will start to fill the air, making the place feel cozy and inviting. Now gently place the tomato rings into the pan. They should sizzle just a little but not jump around. That means the temperature is right. Once they're in place, spoon 1 or 2 tablespoons of the egg mixture into each ring. Don't overfill, just enough to reach the edges of the tomato. Lower the heat slightly and cover the pan with a lid. Let the eggs cook gently for about 5 minutes. This helps the mixture set perfectly inside the tomato rings without burning the bottom. The steam inside the pan will cook the eggs evenly and make them soft and tender. After a few minutes, remove the lid and take a peek. You'll see that the eggs have firmed up nicely and the edges of the tomatoes look slightly caramelized. Carefully flip each tomato ring using a spatula and let them cook for another minute or 2 on the other side. Now for the best part, while they're still warm in the pan. Sprinkle a bit of grated cheese on top. Let it melt slowly into the eggs, creating that lovely golden finish with a slightly nutty flavor. And that's it. In just a few minutes, you've made a colorful, healthy, and delicious breakfast that looks as good as it tastes. The soft egg mixture inside the juicy tomato ring is light but satisfying, perfect with a slice of toast or a cup of coffee. Now that our tomato egg rings are done and filling the kitchen with that wonderful homey aroma, let's move on to something just as simple but a little more colorful: bell pepper egg boats. This recipe is one of my personal favorites because it looks so cheerful and festive on the plate. It's also perfect for those mornings when the fridge looks almost empty, when you've got just a few eggs, a little cheese, and maybe a bell pepper or 2. Believe it or not, that's all you need to make a bright, satisfying breakfast that feels like it came straight from a cozy cafe. Start by cracking 2 or 3 eggs into a bowl. Add a couple of spoonfuls of milk. This gives the eggs a soft, creamy texture once they're cooked. Sprinkle in a pinch of salt and a dash of black pepper. Then add half a teaspoon of paprika for a gentle warmth and color. If you have a little oregano, go ahead and add that too. It gives the dish a lovely, savory aroma. Now grate in some Parmesan cheese. You don't need much, just enough to add that creamy note that makes the eggs rich and flavorful. Stir everything gently with a fork until it's smooth and golden. The mixture should look light and airy, ready to turn into the softest omelet inside our bell peppers. Next, grab a couple of bell peppers. Cut each pepper in half lengthwise and remove the seeds and white parts inside. What you'll have are beautiful, clean boats ready to be filled. Place your frying pan on medium heat and add a small drizzle of olive oil. Once it's warm, lay the pepper halves in the pan, cut side up so they can start to soften just a little. Then gently pour the egg mixture into each pepper half until it's about 3/4 full. After pouring the eggs into each half of the bell pepper, add 2 or 3 tablespoons of water to the bottom of the pan, just enough to create a little steam. Then cover it with a lid. The gentle steam will help the eggs cook evenly while keeping the peppers soft. Cook everything over medium heat for about 10 to 12 minutes. You don't need to flip or stir anything, just let it cook on its own. After about 10 minutes, carefully lift the lid and take a look. The egg should be almost done, looking tender and slightly puffed up. The peppers will have deepened in color, a richer, darker red that looks absolutely beautiful. Now comes one of my favorite parts, adding the cheese. Grate a generous handful of cheese and sprinkle it over the steamed eggs. The moment it touches the warm surface, the cheese begins to melt, slowly forming a smooth, glossy layer that makes everything even more irresistible. If you like your cheese soft and gooey, just put the lid back on and let it melt for another minute or two. When you lift the lid, the aroma is absolutely heavenly: melted cheese, roasted red peppers, and the gentle sweetness of the eggs. Carefully lift each pepper boat onto a plate. They'll be tender, so take your time. Just look at how gorgeous they are. Vibrant bell peppers filled with soft, cheesy eggs topped with a sprinkle of fresh herbs. And now, the best moment, the very first cut. As your knife glides through the melted cheese and into the egg, you'll see steam rise, carrying that amazing fragrance of fresh vegetables and melted cheese. I'd really love to hear how you make your eggs or what your favorite breakfast dish is. Let's share a few ideas. Cooking doesn't have to be complicated to be meaningful. Sometimes it's the simplest recipes like these little egg dishes that bring comfort and joy to our mornings. So take a few minutes each day to make yourself something warm and nourishing. You deserve that bit of care too. Thank you so much for watching and spending time with me today. Stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll see you again soon with another easy, heartwarming recipe.